Good afternoon and welcome to Midday News. We are coming to you from our studios in Abelenkwe 48 Swanika Street here in Accra. Let me remind you that we are streaming live on Facebook at Pan-African Television. We are live on YouTube at Pan-African Television. My name is Justice Appiah. Now to our top stories for this afternoon. CPP inaugurates new party office and endorses Sefuta as parliamentary candidate for Okankwe North constituency. Now, the Electoral Commission says names that are missing in the voters' register are found. Member of Parliament for Asin Central, Japan, pleads not guilty to contempt charges. Details of these stories, including sports, international, and entertainment, will come your way for the next 1 hour. We're going for a short break. We'll be right back. Now moving on to our very first story for this afternoon. The Electoral Commission of Ghana has said it has retrieved almost all the voter names that went missing on the newly compiled voter roll. Director of Electoral Services at the Electoral Commission, Dr. Ntsiwaa Kweku, told Something Lade Anini on Accra-based Joy FM's Newsfile program on Saturday, 26 September 2020, that the ongoing exhibition exercise is part of the electoral roll compilation meant to give the election management body the opportunity to correct any detected errors or anomalies.
That's why we call this one provisional register. A provisional register in the sense that it is not final, he said. There are a lot of things that you have to go through, including the exhibition exercise, including all the challenges that have been identified and being addressed. It will interest you to know that as of Friday, 25th September 2020, when I was leaving the office, we have been able to retrieve all the missing names, and we are now left with around 17,000, Dr. Kweku explained. He therefore urged the parties not to be quick to allege ill motive should they detect any errors or anomalies in the exhibition process.
Away from that, the Convention People's Party, CPP, has commissioned its Okankwe North constituency office at the Akweteman in the Greater Accra region and also outdoor its parliamentary candidate Abdul Hamidu Futa ahead of the December polls.
General Secretary of the party, Nana Ntsiwaa, who was the key speaker, warned Ghanaians not to waste their votes in returning the MPP or voting for the return of the NDC. These two political parties, she noted, have failed Ghanaians and lack vision, direction, and the insight to manage Ghana. Using the price of kenkey as an analogy, she described the increase in the price of kenkey and the reduction in size, saying the MPP promised better leadership and transformation of the lives of citizens, but Ghanaians are living in extreme hardship under the current administration. She also encouraged voters to consider the future of their children and vote wisely, since the 2020 polls will decide whether Ghana will move forward or backwards. The parliamentary candidate Abdul Hamidu Futa, on his part, took the MPP's incumbent MP Fuseni Issa to the cleaners, describing him as a failure. He said the MP has failed the people and should not be allowed to return to parliament, and was hopeful of winning the seat because he represents the youth in the constituency. The 22-year-old teacher will be facing the NDC's Teresa Ladi Awuni and the current MP for the area Fuseni Issa of the MPP in the December polls. The occasion also saw the commissioning of the party's constituency office of the Okankwe North.
Now, Member of Parliament for Asin Central constituency, Japan, has pleaded not guilty to contempt charges leveled against him by High Court Justice Amos Wontawuni after he used some unprintable words on the court in a media encounter.
At the second sitting on the case, his lawyer argued that They had petitioned the Chief Justice for intervention. Thus, a stay of prosecution at the High Court should be granted on claims that the presiding judge may be biased if allowed to try the case. The defendant pleaded not guilty to charges of scandalizing the court, bringing the court into disrepute and contempt. A video which showed the Member of Parliament making contemptuous remarks directed at the presiding judge was played in court, but when asked about what plea he seeks to make, he pleaded not guilty. After several calls by the judge to Ken Ejapon to take the stand, his legal team interjected, raising argument that a stay of prosecution may be granted and that the case be halted until the Chief Justice had given his verdict to the motion filed to his office. His lawyers also requested that a copy of the video submitted as evidence in the court be handed over to them in order for them to scrutinize it and put a defense to the charges. Pan-African Television spoke to a member of his legal team, Alexander Afenomakin, and he further shed more light on the details of the proceedings and the next course of action.
I wouldn't want to make further comments. I'm sure Monday we would all follow the proceedings for the purpose of justice. It's a court. The court has made certain determinations. We made our legal submissions, and we can't exhaust same day, same hour. We've requested for the day's proceedings, and we'll study and use due process for the needful to be done. Well, we've made our position clear in open court. We have also made clear to the courts that we have invoked the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court in this matter. We've also drawn the court's own attention to a motion we have filed before it, which motion is for stay of proceedings. And the registrar of the same court has given us a 12 October as a return date. All these we disclosed to the court, and the court considered having notice of same. So that is where we stand. We are in this to enrich jurisprudence, playing within the rules of practice, relying on prudence, with the ultimate aim, fair trial. You recall that in the Bafoboni case, the Supreme Court made a clear position on the law, disclosure, and Article 19, that in such trials there must be the evidence to be relied upon by the prosecution made available to the accused, so the defendant can, the defense can prepare adequately. So I am satisfied with the engagement so far. Fortunately, there is mutual respect between the bar and the bench. It is not a banter, and you never know. Some of these cases, at the end of the day, you may get emotional about it, but no, we are not emotional about it. We are looking for resolving the vexed matters. And just as procedure, when properly applied, helps in ensuring justice, we are of the view that a path that would help the cause of justice is a path we've taken. We don't have any ill feeling at all, not at all.
Presiding Judge Justice Ntsiwaa, after hearing the plea and defense, adjourned the case to Monday, September 28.
So hold fire on how we view the happenings in court. The most important thing is that we have respect for the court, and the court has respect for us. That healthy exchange must not be disturbed at all. And anything we do would be within the confines of the law. And we are not doing media trial here. It's a court trial of a matter. So we must act in a manner that would manifest our respect for due process. That's about it.
Let's move to the camp of the National Democratic Congress, where the party's parliamentary candidate for Katamanso constituency, Joseph Akwete, has toured the constituency over the weekend as part of move to familiarize with the constituents ahead of the December poll. He is optimistic of maintaining the seat for the National Democratic Congress.
Katamanso is one of the constituencies represented in the Parliament of Ghana. It elects one by the first past the post system of election. Katamanso is located in the Tema Municipal District of the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Ahead of this year's general elections, candidate for the opposition National Democratic Congress, Joseph Akwete, toured the constituency as part of measures to familiarize with constituents and ask them to vote for him as Member of Parliament in the upcoming general elections. The New Patriotic Party parliamentary candidate, Ntsiwaa, is optimistic of snatching the seat from the NDC. Joe T, as many call him, also very sure of retaining the seat for the NDC. In the 2016 general elections, Joseph Nilai Afote Agbo output Solomon Tete of the New Patriotic Party. With the MPP's Ntsiwaa change the narrative by leading his party in winning the seat for the first time since 1966, or fail in his bid to unseat the National Democratic Congress.
The Narcotic Control Commission, NACOC, has on Saturday intercepted 152 kilograms of cocaine at the Tema port. The illicit drug consignment was concealed in a shipment of sugar from Brazil.
NACOC said in a statement issued on Saturday, 26 September 2020, that the interception was a result of intelligence sharing with the Bureau of National Investigations and the National Security Council Secretary. NACOC said some arrests have been made in connection with the drug bust after laboratory tests confirmed the substances were cocaine. The consignment, with the bill of lading number MEDUST 29567, was shipped from Brazil by Usina Santa Label S.A. Facinda Tres, a Brazilian company on behalf of Sagden Middle East, based in Dubai. The shipment consists of 27,000 bags of Brazilian white crystal sugar with a gross weight of 1,350 metric tons. Global Cargo and Commodities Limited, Tema, was the consignee of the shipment. With the assistance of some officials from the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority stationed at the warehouse, the physical search on the suspected containers and the bags of sugar commenced on Thursday, September 10, 2020. The suspected narcotic substances were on Saturday, September 12, 2020, found concealed among the bags of sugar in container number MSCU 68742005. 8 bags of sugar were identified to have suspected narcotic substances concealed in each. In all, 150 slabs of substances suspected to be narcotics were retrieved from the consignment under the joint operation. The exhibits were field tested and proved positive for cocaine. NACOC took custody of the exhibits and subsequently forwarded same to the Ghana Standards Authority for analytical examination and report. Reports from GSA on the exhibits confirmed the substances to be cocaine, with approximate net weight of the 150 slabs being 152.75 kg. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the consignment of sugar was to be delivered to Trade Pass GH Limited.
Now let's go to the Volta region, where on Friday a group of people alleged to be Volta separatists blocked roads in the region, besieged 2 police stations at Mepe and Aveime, and made away with ammunition. In a bid to unravel the mystery behind the decision, our news desk is probing the issue to the fullest with an update by Oscar Kaba, who has joined us in the studio for an extensive discussion on the trending issues and the journey so far. Oscar Kaba is our Volta regional correspondent. Oscar, thank you so much for joining us on Midday News this afternoon.
Thank you, my brother.
All right. Thank you. So, what have you gathered so far with regards to...
It looks like the truth is not being told. The picture is being painted in a foggy way. The fact of the matter is that this alleged separatist group, it looks like they are coming with 2 identities. The ones we knew, if you look at the beginning of all these voter separatist issues, you realize that from the beginning, there have been some arrests, there have been some court processes, some were even charged for treason and later on released. Those people are still in the community, not only the leader. Now, the next group that is coming and out now, their flag is even different from the earlier one. So, who are those voter separatist group? Okay. Now, I heard some of the some other people saying that the group in question, some are saying that is not a group. That is saying this is another group of people. One group is saying some politicians are funding them. Some are saying they are not. Some are also saying, and this is affecting business. For example, if you look at what happened on Friday.
Now, before we look at what happened on Friday, take us through what exactly happened on Friday.
What happened on Friday was Friday dawn. You know these traders who move from Aflao to Togo every dawn. You know, vehicles going. Around between Huime, so Sogakope, there is a town called Huime, and Potame. There is a sharp curve. That was where the first roadblock was done. And you could see that it was an attempt to block, to create inconvenience to traffic people. Then, we also understand the same period, Mepe and then Aveime police station were attacked. And the ammunitions were also taken from them. This will tell you that these things were done simultaneously, meaning it was a planned event. So why I'm saying this is that to what happened exactly, if you look at the history, if you look at the trend, where it is coming from.
Is it the same group that mounted the roadblock?
That is the dichotomy. Yeah, you see.
That also mounted same.
It might be the same group, but not the same old group we knew as the voter secessionists. The voter. There's a name that they call. Yeah. You understand? So it might not be the same group, because when you look at their flag, the current flag we have now.
Let's cross over to the phone lines. We've been joined on phone by Mr. Mustafa Gbandi. He's a security expert. We'll be speaking to him pretty shortly. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome to Pan-African News. If you can hear me, good afternoon, sir, and welcome to Pan-African News.
Good afternoon, mother.
All right, tell us the effect of what we are witnessing in the Volta region with regards to the Volta separatist group who are causing mayhem in the region.
Well, thank you very much, and good afternoon to your channel. First of all, 2 questions that we need to ask. Who is in charge of the security, in fact, the domestic security of this country? Who are those separatist movements? We all know that government is responsible for the security situations of this country.
Very well.
Government, in fact, has a lot of installations that are in charge of gathering all necessary intelligence on activities of individuals and people. Now, on the other leg of the matter, these individuals, we know their group. Their group leaders are known. Government arrested them a couple of times and freed them. government cannot at any point in time say that, and I'm happy the information minister came out to say that they had intelligence on the activity. It is further in exposing the bad nature or the bad manner in which they handled the issues to say that people have been released, police as military officers released, beating people in the voluntary. It is not Volunteers who are the separatist group. It is a group of individuals. They are known by government. Government have arrested these people and leave them a couple of times to Accra, release them. Some are in court. Government goes to court and say we are not interested in the case. When in fact we know that any individual who will do such an activity that sort of undermines the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana commits, a very serious crime punishable by the laws of Ghana. We've looked on, we've massaged the situation, we did not deal with the matter. Now, these are well-coordinated, organized, logistic supply operations. The government cannot exonerate itself in the involvement of this activity. Government is well aware, and this is a government that says that it is protecting the people. I'm sorry to say that the activity of deploying military and police personnel subsequent upon the roadblock to beat people in lockdown further exposes and further implicates the suspicion that government is trying to create a security situation in the Volta region. Again, it further implicates the government's dislike and hatred for the people of Volta region. That is to say that government has every opportunity at every material point in time to deal with this matter, but it fails to deal with it. And the indicators all suggest that the authorities within the government system are aware. In fact, recently, we even heard that one of the people came out to do an interview that the Volta regional minister had supplied them food and drink at a point in time in their meeting. So it's a bit surprising that the same government would turn around to deploy personnel to go and bastardize people, innocent Ghanaians, in the North Town constituency. That is uncalled for, and it is unacceptable. It's a decision late in time, and this means that we do not have people in charge of our domestic security. What the government is doing is directly linked in breeding terrorism in the country. This is how Boko Haram started, and that's what we see in Nigeria. Government is an accomplice in this whole exercise. Government cannot exonerate itself. Where do the people get police vehicles? After a video of the people sitting in a police car. How can this group of people, if they are not trained, go and seize arms to the extent that they will even shoot a special officer? Well, we're not trained. Do we have intelligence organizations? What is the national security doing? What is BNI doing? Except to say that government has employed very incompetent hands in handling our domestic security.
Mr. Monday, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir? Now, what we are witnessing, you have espoused the other side of the argument that government is trying to, destabilize the region and all of that. But then the question is this as a result of security failure in the country?
First and foremost, it's a security failure deliberately orchestrated. Government is pretending not to be aware of the problem it has created and turning around to accuse innocent people. And the rule is that if you have a group of people trying to undermine our collective goals, our collective resolve as a country, it is a crime and it is a sin. In fact, to say that it's the people of the region, when in fact, you know these individuals, you have arrested them a couple of times, and you have freed them. If indeed these people, their activities have not been sanctioned by government, government has the opportunity to observe them. The use of security installation is to bring sanity and is to bring fear and to bring order to a government system. You don't have all this at your disposal and you allow few individuals to hold a whole part of the country to ransom, and you turn back to accuse Volta region. It is not Voltarian. It's a group of people within Volta region.
Mr. Gbande, can you hear me?
Are alleged to be Togolese.
Are we not jumping the gun? Can you hear me?
Government has still closed the domestic, the land borders of this country. The borders remain closed. Where do the people come through?
Very well.
They are fields where they were training people. Their camp is an area between Ghana and Togo.
All right. So if you can hear me, are we not jumping the gun by accusing government of orchestrating this when government came out to say that they are going to put out some big names behind these extremist, activities in the region?
Well, in order not to be political, I would say that it's a clear indication of a failed government and a government that has refused to protect its territory. The government that has refused to take security decisions. Government cannot exonerate itself from this activity. To an extent that government seemingly supervised the activity, they were aware, they had intelligence confirmed by the Minister for Information, but they failed to act. They failed to salvage the situation. What happened in Volta region last week was not an event. It has been it took a whole process of coordination. The people shared themselves in groups. When they were printing t-shirts, nobody saw them. When they were mobilizing, nobody saw them.
Okay.
When they were training, nobody saw them. When they were preparing their uniforms, nobody saw them. Then it means we do not have intelligence security in this country.
All right. Okay.
This is what we have been saying.
All right, thank you so much for speaking to us. We are so grateful for your time. We've been speaking to Mr. Mustafa Gbande, who is a security expert. We are here in the studios with Oscar Akaba, who is our Volta regional correspondent. Oscar, go ahead.
Yes, like the security man is saying, you see, we are all in a state of confusion because the people of the Volta region are Ghanaians who are doing their business lawfully and legally. Okay, and from nowhere, some group of people come and say Voltarians are separating. You saw the press release by the chiefs.
Exactly, from the National House of Chiefs and the Volta Regional House of Chiefs.
Or House of Chiefs. You saw what was going on. Even the Awo Mafia of Angola also came out. You understand? So we are looking at it. It looks like our security agencies are not ready to tell us what the real issue is.
Have you been able to find out why government, after arresting those same people, did not prosecute them but freed them?
It looks like I'm still at sea like everybody else who is watching us, because a case of treason committed. I remember when I covered that story when they have to airlift the 88 years old man or so from whole military barracks and all those. And at another point also, I also covered the story where they said the group was doing training somewhere and they had intelligence and bounce on them. Unfortunately, if you look at the T-shirts the group was wearing then during that period where the raid was done, some of those T-shirts was seen in the video that is happening. But the Homeland Study Group says, no, we are not those people. And truly when you look at the flag of that was placed at the North Town Municipal District Assembly, you realize the flag was different from that of the Homeland Study Group. It means somebody is playing some card, especially at this political era, to gain an advantage or something, which is something we are also trying to look at.
But government says that they are coming out with some big names behind some of these activities in the region.
We are waiting to get the big names and link them and see if maybe it might not be an attempt to also possibly gag some group of people or some individuals, because we are on the ground with the people. Honestly, between 3:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. some vendors or hawkers around Sogakope were like they were unhappy because they are not able to sell their.
No, I was just about to come to that. What's the negative effect or impact that this has created on the region?
It has created a lot, and to the extent I think I read a piece where Mr. Gabriel Chidaku was saying we should protect. Volta region is a beautiful place, so we shouldn't. No, but the fact is, they were trying to brand it. Do you understand? Some group of people wants to brand the Volta region to be as if we are fighting or there is a kind of war in the Volta region. But unfortunately, it is not so.
Within the region,
to Hotel Cisneros, go to the spa, business is ongoing. Go to Aborigines Beach Resort, go to everything is normal. Everybody is doing his normal work. So we don't see where. So we need the authorities. For example, like Bande is saying, the government is in charge of our security.
We have the regional security council, the RECSEC. What did they do so far with regards to this particular situation? Because I heard the Volta regional minister said that they were very much aware about the activities of these groups or this group we're talking about.
The question is, if you are aware, what were you doing? Tell us. Okay. Now there is an issue saying that we were monitoring them. We knew we took priority. So are you trying to say that the whole Volta region, maybe there are priority areas you want to look at, that you heard they were going to attack the whole central market and you prevented that, but Mepe and Sogakope, where we have the longest bridge, in case during the period that bridge was attacked and was bombed, we are going to be looking for finances all over the world again and crying that we want to build a bridge. And how long would it take us? Is it not cutting possibly the south away from the whole Volta region? These are some of the things we are looking at and we say, don't worry, Pan African TV is going right down there and we are getting this information to our people to understand that.
Time is fast spent, but finally, you talked about two separate groups because you believe that it wasn't the same group that has caused the mayhem on Friday. Have you in any way, are your ears on the ground, at least to be able to identify the two major groups that are causing or fomenting trouble?
I mentioned two different things. There are two flags that we are seeing.
Two flags.
One with a stool with a goat on it. There is another one that brings a unity hand and the colors are also different. It means there are two different kind of groups. This is what we are getting. Our ears on the ground are also telling us that it might not be the truth. A journalist was arrested some few months ago. He lives and works from Sogakope.
Very well.
I think his name is Mr. Beswe Zuto or so. The owner of One Tonu Radio that has been shut down. Okay? So when these things are going on, we are still monitoring. We are trying to find out. So these two groups, let's be careful. Let's not throw our hands in the air and say Volta sensationalist group and brand one thing, but whilst there are different groups of people trying to destroy the image of the Volta region and trying to destroy what the real Voltarians are.
All right, thank you so much, Oscar, for
I think before I go, I think government have to come clear and sit down with this group and find out what exactly the issue is. Because if you were able to arrest the people, you took them to court on a charge of treason, and these people were released. And the issue is our Attorney General also says that they discontinue from the case or whatever it is, and these things are happening. They need to sit down with these people and find out exactly what the issue is.
All right.
We've seen documents. Of
our time is fast spent. Let's wrap up. Well, okay. Thank you so much for passing through. That was our Volta regional correspondent Oscar Akaba. Away from that particular story, the head teacher of Kajabi Asato Senior High School, Reverend Father Daniel K. Ntsiwaa, has urged the Ghana Education Service to deepen their relationship with head teachers to improve the educational system of the country. He disclosed this on the sidelines of disinfection of the school facilities at Kajabi in the Oti region by Zone Lion Ghana Limited.
5,000 basic and senior high schools in the Oti and Volta regions have been disinfected by Zoomlion Ghana Limited in preparation for the partial reopening of educational facilities in the country. Management of the various schools expressed their gratitude to government for the exercise. On his part, the head teacher of KJB Asatu Senior High School, Reverend Father Daniel Lanwa, said the school was impressed with the exercise but called on the Ghana Education Service to work more closely with head teachers to improve education in Ghana.
Because, our health is paramount to everything that we do. And I remember having been trained in Japan, where I was ordained as a priest and worked before coming home. Every year, when you're 35 years plus, you must go for a compulsory health check to ensure that you are fit and sound to continue work in the unit, organization, or establishment where you find yourself. So, government couldn't have done anything better than what it is doing now. And I think we give thumbs up to the government.
Okay, since the pandemic, did you record any case of coronavirus here?
God being on our side, we have been COVID-19 free, completely free. Yes, before and after the students came and left. Well, if you talk about challenges, I think I will encourage government as much as possible. It's doing something which is good already, but I wouldn't even say it's a challenge as such. But I would say the relationship between school heads and the GS management should be deepened further beyond the level at which we have it. Presently, it is not that bad, but I'm just praying that we can have a more stress-free collaboration to ensure that we on the ground can do good work to glorify God and lift up the nation. I think we have enormous experience. Take into consideration how we manage the second-year gold track students and the final-year students. For the 6-week period, they had to prepare to write their exams, and finally, the final years writing their exams. We put a lot of measures, which I think we'll still implement when we get a larger group coming when school reopens on the 5th of October.
And how many students do you have so far?
Well, I had a total of 994 students, and 614 have exited now.
Okay. Is it basic or JHS?
The total I've given you has to do for the SHS. But we have Mr. Mate with me here, who is the headmaster of the GHS, the basic school.
So there's not going to be any form of pressure on the school in terms of accommodation and classroom stuff?
No. In fact, looking at the space we have now, government is also giving us 2 new dormitories, one for boys and girls. I intend to take in more students because we can accommodate them.
The Director of Communications and Corporate Affairs of Zoomlion Ghana Limited, Ima Achiamboachi, explained that the exercise will curb the spread of COVID-19 before students return to school.
Region, and we are doing the 3rd phase of the disinfection exercise because our students, the year 2s for SHS and JHS, will be going back to school per the information the President gave us in his speech the last time on the 5th of October. So we are spraying again to get rid of any viruses around their campuses. So we are here at the Ola Girls Secondary School to do the disinfection exercise. In the region, we are looking at both JHS and SHS schools. And for the SHS, we have 129 schools. And for the JHS, the basic schools, we have 2,654. And for today, we are doing this concurrently in all other districts. And for today in Ho, we are doing 8 schools. And we will be moving on to other districts to continue.
But that'll be all for the local stories. But coming up in the world of business, 40 under 40 awards, young entrepreneurs earn it. Details after this break.
it's incredible! Bang on target!
Na jawo tikan mu deda do bi press wa say wan timi ansi
mate mi sis mi sire why na me yipa na cheche wo e dai malaria din ya chinsa
e ja ka akoma to yem so no dan proke herba mister usi simbadu say from oyire so doctor ka chene say o malaria mo ani bi oni pedue mu a so no dank antima x yare malaria e be kokora obi wo hono ma ne yem ye ne yanso a so no dank gastro care herba mister oho beton dank phyto care herba mister koko ebe ye hu adwuma ma wapon waposo hu tutu dank extra care herba mister obenya hu oden ne watimi anante make food dank no nyina e de amamo
na ebenya dwedwe nya bi we
pharmacy shop and a herba shop also pe dank nura ye be ma obi
pacho mo number ye sen
0266593330
enroi oba pemfo oba ma akora nufo ene akora woni mfie du mienu ntime no
FDA ahwehwe saa edwadie nkratoe mu agya atom se eye.
Some business stories. The executive director of Kent Farms, Richard Addison, has been adjudged the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Man of the Year at the 2020 40 Under 40 Awards held at the Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel.
Agriculture and Agro-Processing category. And the nominees are
Agriculture and Agro-Processing, Richard Addison, Kent Farms, Rosalind Delali Ashigui, Delchris Africa Limited.
The winner for the Agriculture and Agro-Processing Award for tonight is Richard Addison of Kent Farms.
A 50-acre rice farm which started in the Shama district in 2014 now employs over 100 locals from land preparation, planting, harvesting and milling to transporting produce to the market. Kent Farms acquired this vast land at Shama and Takwa district to produce a variety of food crops to meet local satisfaction. The aim of Richard Addison and his team at Kent Farms is to produce Ghanaian staples in large quantities to reduce the importation of food crops in the country. He is very ardent to see the youth venturing into the agricultural sector. Through the Richard Addison Foundation, he has provided clean drinking water to communities as well as toilet facilities for communities in need. He also has some students within the Takrady area on an educational scholarship and engaged a few others in the field of arts. Mr. Addison, who is the brain behind Kent Farms, believes that the new Africa would have to take agriculture a bit more seriously if it's looking at growing its economies and taking care of her people and even the world. The 40 Under 40 Awards is a scheme set to identify, honor and celebrate a cross-section of the nation's most influential and accomplished young business leaders under the age 40 from a wide range of industries who are committed to business growth, professional excellence and community service and have risen the ranks of their companies or industries at a relatively young age.
The Western region and its environs. He has also provided clean drinking water to communities as well as toilet facilities under TRAF. Congratulations to you, Richard Addison.
Now, the second edition of the Livestock, Poultry, Fisheries Exhibition and Trade Show was organized in Accra at the Fua Sutherland Park. The two-day program was organized by Agri House Foundation on the theme Step Up and made a grand entry into the livestock agribusiness.
Initiative is drawn from the uninspiring statistics which suggested that livestock rearing has significantly dwindled in the last 20 years, resulting in Ghana spending more than $400 million annually to import meat products, as 81% of the meat consumed in the country was imported. We were also motivated by the ministry's commitment and push to scale up the sector with the introduction of the rearing for food and jobs. Basically, over the years, the crops sector have been driven more, and motive, initiative, and agenda was to ensure that all the facets of the sector, if it comes to crops or any other animal agriculture, is also receiving the same attention.
Due to the potential huge potential in fisheries and aquaculture, livestock and poultry subsector, it has become increasingly necessary to galvanize stakeholders through the creation of platforms such as this to bring a sense of common purpose amongst stakeholders striving to attract support and improve productivity. The fisheries and agriculture industries are crucial for the local economy as it provides a significant amount of direct jobs and food for the Ghanaian people. Ghana's fisheries sector employs about 10% of the entire population along its value chain and also contributes over 60% for our total protein intake, especially in coastal communities. The number is even higher. The monumental importance of fisheries and aquaculture in the growth of the local economy is one that cannot be discounted. Indeed, despite government's flirtations with other modern day endeavors, it has increasingly become obvious that fisheries and aquaculture remains a that cannot be discounted.
Yes, taxi will see a yen assassin. Yakika your home boom. If you back home, me no me and son. Na yakope assassin. Ewo bodrase. Ye fra obosoma bran. Ye guso sa. Ena openi bi betwem. Ose emma besia na mo ye fose. Ena ye si ye nimua. Ose kwan bi obefa so a obeboa ye no. Papa no de osia yoyo. Na odi etu anamo. Anamo papa no de etu ye no. Na nipa 42. Edianan mienu. Edi afe no ni aye ahenu aye 500 people. Ye efu ema. Ye dia brobe MD2. Ye dia potato, ye dia ebro, ye dia emo, ye dia atadwe. Minim ade aye nua. Ye ho na kumase 40 yanka. Ohene no wodomra se. Ose adwuma mo ye eye me fe. E ma besia no ma fe adwuma se yato mo ho so. Me mama sase. Papa ne de osia yoyo no ma ya sase. E na me no ka se bantuma Bekwa Road. Ye 1008 members are. Ye efu ema emema so 700.
That's all for business. Up next is international news. Welcome back. Now let's do some international stories from our international partners. People's Dispatch. Patrick Ella, who worked as a digital forensics expert for the U.S. government, has pointed out that Chelsea Mannings's prosecution failed to find any proof of Julian Assange's involvement.
As the third week of the Assange trial has come to a close, the defense team has submitted compelling arguments against the central charges against Julian Assange. On Friday, September 25th, the defense presented Patrick Ella, a US-based computer forensics expert. Ella's statements essentially disputed the very basis of some of the charges of conspiracy to hack the leaked classified documents with the whistleblower, Chelsea Manning. Ella worked with the United States Army for 2 decades and was a military digital forensics expert for years. According to journalist Kevin Costola, who has been closely following the trial, Ella was given less than 10 hours to prepare for the bulky prosecution bundle, which contains all the charges against Assange and the supposed evidence and witness statements used by them so far. One of the central accusations in the Assange and WikiLeaks indictments in the United States is the charge that Assange was involved in either aiding, actively conspiring with Manning to illegally procure the documents published by him. The prosecution has argued that Assange helped Manning to break into a government computer by cracking a password hash, which in turn anonymized the source of the leak. The basis of the claim is a communication conducted between Assange and Manning, where the latter sent an encryption hash, the source of which was never really known. Ella pointed out that Manning was caught by the US government by tracking her computer IP address, which implies that the talks on the hash never really picked up from the conversation, and no foreign decryption attempts ever materialized. According to Ella, Manning's prosecution found evidence of her downloading a trove load of documents to which she had access to and where hacking was unfeasible. Ella also pointed out that the investigation and the prosecution in Manning's case at that time was unable to find any evidence of Assange's involvement in the documents leaking process. Over the past week, another key theme was to highlight the impact of the case and possible extradition on Assange's mental health. The defense submitted several testimonies by medical professionals that attempted to show that Assange is within the autistic spectrum and suffering from depression and suicidal ideation. The witnesses testified that Assange's mental health condition will worsen if extradited. Judge Baraitsa also raised the question about how the U.S. elections could impact the trial and what the timeline of the trial will look like for the next couple of weeks. She later announced that a ruling will not be possible before January.
But that's all for international news. Credit goes out to People's Dispatch for this particular story. Eve Edwards is on standby with updating sports. We'll be right back.
Hello?
Oh, Sisiana sound.
Okay, wait a minute. Why? My wife comes and send a message. Your office is going to free. Hello? I don't know. What's happened?
It's a child who's will be a quiet say what? I dare say.
Besides, friend of fair, I'm so here too. My wife is not testing messages here. And our office is so. I'm just trying to tell you, man. She says, I
mean, so we a guy, man, and may young who could look cry. And also wants a family drilling company limited for Kana.
What's it then? Family Drilling Company Limited.
Ye two borehole, biofuel, biogas, swimming pool, plumbing works in Naso, ye be Frey 0240 333 111 and NASA 0244 144 822.
Miampa and no swimming pool me see. Me want to will be here. Family drilling now. Family drilling.
What fashion yala shit?
Me out with that
Pan-African News live on Pan-African TV. My name is Evelyn. Now let's do some sports. The Ghana Football Association has appointed Julius Ben Emuna as the club licensing manager. The Takrady-based football administrator succeeds Emmanuel Newton Dasobre, who resigned on September 14, 2020.
Julius Ben Emuna, who replaces newly appointed administrative and operations manager of Kotoko, Emmanuel Newton Dasobre, is currently the GFA's Safety and Security Officer and Secretary to the Safety and Security Committee. The former Secretary and Administrative Head of the Western Regional Football Association is also a CAF Safety and Security Officer. He played a key role in the 2019-2020 CAF Interclub competitions, handling matches in Nigeria. He served as Deputy Administrative Manager for the National Sport Authority in the Central Region for 2 years before moving to the Western Regional Capital. Emuna holds a CAF Safety and Security Officers Training Workshop Certificate and a CAF National Safety and Security Officers Training Workshop Certificate, respectively. Julius read environmental science at the University of Cape Coast. He also possesses vast experience in the media space, having worked for Yes FM, Cape FM, and EIB Networks Empire FM.
Now let's do some boxing. Ghanaian boxer Duke Micah has failed to announce the World Boxing Organization bantamweight title after losing during a third-round technical knockout against Filipino John Real Casimiro.
Micah commenced the fight well by using his jab, but seems to fizzle out as the fight progressed. He was knocked down during the second round, but managed to get onto his feet for the third round, but later stopped by three-weight world champion during the third round of their 12-round fight. With Micah losing, Ghana is likely to end the year 2020 without a world title, after similar ending in 2019, with Richard Comey and Isaac Dogbe losing the International Boxing Federation lightweight and the World Boxing Organization super bantamweight title to Teofimo Lopez and Emmanuel Navarrete, respectively.
Now to our final story. Andy Murray has crashed out of the French Open with a first-round defeat by 2015 champion Stan Wawrinka.
Playing his only second major after undergoing hip resurfacing surgery, Murray proved too much for the Swiss professional tennis player. The Scotsman, who hasn't played on clay since 2017, has been suffering with injuries for the past several seasons. Summing up the dominance of Wawrinka and the performance of Murray, he managed to win 6 games, losing 6-1, 6-3, and 6-2. The match proved a tale of woe for both players, with Murray's hip issues initiating thereafter, while Wawrinka also needed a knee surgery.
That will be all for sport. Entertainment is next.
Now let's do some entertainment story. The third edition of the Ghana Royal Enthronement program was held at the Lighthouse Assemblies of God Church in Jamestown over the weekend. The award themed Africa, our Royal Heritage, honored Pan-African Television for their outstanding performance and hard work.
The Black Star Lion Awards was presented to the director of Pan-African Television, Comrade Kwesi Pratt Jr., for his hard work to the nation and Africa as a whole. The organizers of the awards indicated that Pan-African Television have survived the media space outstandingly and deserved to be honored.
That's how we wrap up on today's edition of Midday News on Pan-African Television. Don't forget to follow us on our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter at Pan-African Television. Before we wrap up, a recap of our headlines. CPP inaugurates new party office and endorses Sefuta as parliamentary candidate for Okankwe North constituency. Electoral Commission says missing names on the voters register have been found. Asin Central MP Kennedy Japan pleads not guilty to contempt charges. In business, we brought you Agri House Foundation holds second trade exhibition and show in Accra. My name is Justice Appiah. Keep watching Pan-African Television.